Hi guys, my name's Phil and I'm about to tell you guys my journey of going bald and shaving my head. I first started to notice I was going balding when I was 19. It was very difficult to deal with at the time. Didn't have a lot of confidence in high school, so a lot of my self-worth was predicated based on the way I looked, unfortunately, and it's just being balding here in the hairline region as well as the crown area at such an early age when a lot of my friends didn't have that was devastating for me. And I would get made fun of by my friends, and probably harmlessly so, but you know, eventually that would dig into me. So eventually I found out about this stuff called Propecia from a dermatologist. I started taking it. I didn't know if it was working according to the way it worked for, I guess, 80% of Americans or whatever the drug company said. But it was very expensive for a college kid at the time. I was also using Rogaine, very greasy foam-like material that I would put on the top of my head, my crown area. And honestly, I wasn't sure if that was working either. Just year over year, I'd be losing even more hair. I saw it in the sink, and it was very difficult for me to deal with. So going to work, you know, the wind rippling through my hair, I was concerned about rain, just making my hair look more thin than it actually was. Just super insecure in my early 20s, all the way through college and also my first job when I started working in financial services. But eventually, I was introduced to a barber that was able to cut my hair in a way that made the symptoms of male pattern baldness be less evident, and he actually introduced me to a substance called X-Fusion. A lot of people also know it as Topic, is a rival brand. What it is it's like it's a powder. It's made from the same wool fibers, I guess, as hair. It's kind of like protein wool fiber type solution, and you douse it on top of your head, and it's supposed to bond to your actual hair. It worked really well at first, and it gave me like a rebirth of confidence. I was getting a lot of attention from women, that probably more so than I ever had in my life. I was able to focus on other things like studying and going to the gym. And I was able to kind of put that insecurity behind me, at least for the short term. Now, after a while, I had to make sure that, because it only comes in certain colors, I had to make sure that I would color my hair as I was graying on the sides to make sure that it matched. I had to make sure that I was getting fresh haircuts to make the whole head look flush. And I eventually stopped taking Propecia because I didn't know if that was working, and I was buying like it cheaper from abroad. It was called Finpecia. I think I was getting it from India for like a quarter the price. And it worked out for a while. I looked pretty good in pictures and videos, and I could probably fool most strangers. And most of my close friends probably didn't even know, and a lot of the girls I dated didn't even know. But I mean, eventually, every short-term solution has its end, right? So X-Fusion was quite messy. I was leaving stains on pillowcases from the product. I was leaving the bathroom dirty. There'd be just like rings of powder scattered across the sink and the cabinets area and the floor. And I eventually started looking myself in pictures, and I saw that the three-dimensional kind of look of my hair kind of went away. It wasn't as square-shaped as it once was, because I continued to bald underneath the X-Fusion. I still couldn't really swim. I couldn't dip my head underneath the water. I was still afraid of wind. And then I turned about 32 years old, and it just started to get worse, to the point where I'd be almost like meeting people for the first time, and the attention, their eyes would go directly to my hairline, my artificial hairline. And I realized that enough's enough.
Hey guys, I'm Tim. I've been a friend of Phil's for a long time. So he has been telling us that he's considering shaving his head. We have been encouraging him to do this for quite some time.
All right, Ryan Wishart here, good friend of Phil's. Big weekend here in Maine, hanging out with Phil and some buddies from college.
All right, guys, well, this is it. This is the night I'm going to finally take the plunge.
He's been setting this up for a little while, a couple months. We're gonna shave his head.
So in my early 30s, I set an arbitrary date for me to completely shave my head. And it was age 35. And today I am actually closer to 34 and a half. But you know, it's an arbitrary date. And you know, enough's enough.
It's the type of thing that I think it's always on his mind, right? It's like, you know, should I do it? Is it time for me to do it? He's been doing a lot of different hair treatments and stuff. I think he has the right look to do it right. And so I'm hoping he goes through with it because we've been talking about this for a long time.
You know, I'm tired of living my life in a lie. Although I'm not hurting anybody. Why am I basically painting my head with shoe polish to try to tell people that I had better genetics than I actually did? You know, I am married now, happily. I am very successful professionally. Why do I need to be perfect in every aspect of my life? And you know, I'm not perfect, but there's no reason to continue to do this. So I decided it was time to shave my head, and I went through with it. And it's probably not going to be a fast, seamless transition. It's going to take some time. I got to tan my head a little bit, and I got to work on the beard and make sure that I'm grooming that a little more often. But I feel like a giant burden has been lifted off me. And that part feels very cleansing, to be honest. So, there's nothing wrong with shaving your head and embracing the hand that you were dealt in being bald. So I'm bald. All right, so it's the morning after, shaved the head, starting to get used to it. A little weird in the shower this morning, using body wash on the top of my head. Just the way it feels. Maybe a little cold last night, a little brisk against the pillow, but everybody's packing up for the day. I'm one of the last people here, and I'm gonna go home and show the wife. She doesn't know yet, so I'm kinda gonna surprise her. Maybe I'll film her reaction, maybe I won't, but all right, catch you guys in about an hour. Hello, I'm home. Maybe.
Let's see it. It looks good. I like it.
Do you really?
I do, yeah.